in the quiet town of Maramba, where dusty roads wound between old brick houses and the call to prayer echoed softly at dawn, lived a boy named Zion. He was 17 years old, tall but thin, with thoughtful eyes that often looked at the ground instead of the world around him. Zion was known in his neighborhood for one thing above all else: his silence. He was not foolish, nor lazy, nor unkind. He simply did not believe in himself. Zion's father worked as a tailor, stitching clothes in a small shop that smelled of fabric and chalk dust. His mother taught at the local primary school. From childhood, Zion had shown a deep interest in machines. He loved taking apart broken radios, fans, and clocks, studying their inner workings like puzzles waiting to be solved. But whenever someone praised him, he dismissed it quickly. It was nothing, he would say. Anyone could do it, he insisted. Inside, Zion carried a heavy doubt that whispered constantly, "You are not good enough," a dream buried in doubt. Zion dreamed of becoming an engineer. He imagined himself designing machines that could help farmers, improve water systems, or bring electricity to remote villages. But dreams require belief, and belief was something he lacked. At school, he performed well in mathematics and science, yet whenever exams approached, fear took over. What if I fail? What if everyone realizes I'm not as smart as they think? His best friend, Hamza, often tried to encourage him. "You're the smartest in our class," Hamza said one afternoon as they walked home. "You could top the board exams." Zion shook his head. "No, Hamza, I just get lucky." Hamza frowned. Luck doesn't fix broken generators or explain physics. But Zion only smiled weakly. The announcement. One hot summer morning, the school principal gathered all senior students in the assembly hall. The fans creaked overhead as sweat trickled down foreheads. The principal cleared his throat and made an announcement that would change Zion's life. "This year," he said, "a national science and innovation competition will be held in the capital. The winner will receive a full scholarship to a top engineering university." Excited whispers filled the hall. "Our school will send one student to represent us," the principal continued. "Teachers will recommend candidates." Zion's heart began to race. A scholarship, engineering. His dream stood suddenly within reach, and yet it felt terrifying. Later that day, his physics teacher, Mr. Rashid, called him aside. "Zion," he said, adjusting his glasses, "I'm recommending you for the competition." Zion's breath caught. "Sir, a broken bar, there must be someone better." Mr. Rashid smiled kindly. "Ability is useless without courage, but you have both even if you don't see it yet." Zion nodded, but inside, panic grew like a storm. Fear takes control. That night, Zion sat alone in his room, staring at his old notebook filled with sketches of machines and ideas. His hands shook. "What if I embarrass myself? What if I fail in front of everyone?" He imagined standing before judges, forgetting his words, his project falling apart. The fear felt so real that his chest tightened. The next morning, he told his parents he didn't want to participate. His mother looked surprised. "But this is your dream," his father said quietly. "Son, success doesn't come to those who wait for confidence. Confidence comes after taking the first step." Zion said nothing. The old man and the bridge. A few days later, Zion went for a walk to clear his head. At the edge of town stood an old wooden bridge crossing a narrow river. Sitting nearby was Baba Karim, an elderly man known for his wisdom. "You look troubled, boy," Baba Karim said. Zion hesitated, then shared his fears. Baba Karim listened patiently, then pointed to the bridge. "Do you see that bridge?" he asked. "Yes," Zion replied. "When it was first built, people were afraid to cross it. They doubted its strength. But the bridge did not become strong because people trusted it. People trusted it because they dared to step onto it. He looked directly at Zion. Believing in yourself is the first step toward success. Without that step, the journey never begins. Those words struck Zion deeply. The decision. That night, Zion made a decision and not to win, not to be perfect, but simply to try. He began working on a project, a low-cost water filtration system using locally available materials. Day after day, he worked in silence, failing repeatedly. Filters clogged, pipes leaked, designs collapsed. Each failure whispered, "You can't do this," but for the first time, Zion answered back, "I can learn." Slowly, the project improved. His confidence did not arrive suddenly, it grew quietly, like a seed pushing through soil. The competition. The day of the competition arrived. The capital city buzzed with energy. Bright banners hung from buildings. Students from across the country presented robots, solar devices, and complex models. Zion's hands trembled as he set up his project. He noticed other students speaking confidently, laughing, adjusting professional-looking displays. "I don't belong here," his doubt returned. Then he remembered Baba Karim's words and took a deep breath. When it was his turn, Zion explained his project clearly. He spoke not as someone trying to impress, but as someone sharing an idea he believed in. When a judge questioned a flaw, Zion admitted it honestly and explained how he planned to improve it. The judges nodded thoughtfully. The result? That evening, the results were announced. Zion stood among dozens of competitors, heart-pounding, and the winner. The announcer said, "For innovation, practicality, and impact to Broken Bar Zion from Miranda." For a moment, Zion thought he had misheard. Then applause erupted. Tears filled his eyes, not because he won, but because he had finally believed. Beyond success, Zion received the scholarship and went on to study engineering, but more importantly, he carried a lesson that shaped his life. Whenever he faced difficulty, doubt still appeared but it no longer controlled him. Years later, Zion returned to Mehranpur as an engineer, building clean water systems for villages like his own. He visited his old school and spoke to students. "I was once like you," he said softly, "afraid, unsure, but I learned something important. Believing in yourself is not arrogance, it is courage." Conclusion. Zion's success did not begin with talent, luck, or opportunity. It began with a single choice: here to believe, even when fear was loud. That belief became the foundation on which every achievement was built, because success does not start at the finish line, it starts with belief. Moral: believing in yourself is the first step toward success.